Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make bows using regular ribbon. What do I mean by regular ribbon? I'm not talking about curling ribbon, and I'm obviously not talking about wired ribbon, just regular satin ribbon. And I will walk you through everything, and I promise you'll have a good time. So let's hop to it.
Alrighty, so here I have some leftover blue satin ribbon, and I'm choosing to wrap the gift such that the ribbons hug the corners, which I did. And now I'm doing my best to center everything, and it's great, and we're having a good time. And the first thing I'm going to do is just make a simple knot. Very super simple. There we go. Come on. All right. There, and done. And next what we're going to do is we're going to make our loops, and we just make a simple bow. It's just like tying your shoes. I'm clearly wrapping it around and then pulling the loop through. You could do bunny ears. You could do whatever you want. Whatever animal makes you make the bow you want to make, just go with it. And now you're going to see me struggle a little bit. This is part of it because the more you pull and the more you release, you get the ribbon to behave the way you want it to be. You know, sometimes people just call it quits after they tie it and they're like, oh, it's ugly, I'm just not going to do it. Don't have that attitude. Just play with it. And you can see here, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I am making a lovely bow, and then I'm cutting off those ends, make them even. And then I'm going to take my lighter and sear off those edges so they don't unravel on me. That's obviously optional, but look how cute. And now we're going to move over to some smaller sheer thin ribbon. So I start by making a regular bow, and I'm still attached to the roll. See me playing with it, having a good time. The key here is you really want to make sure your bow loops are as even as possible. Again, it's just like tying your shoe. No big deal. We just do that for a little bit. Play with it. Now I'm at a point where I am going to release myself from the spool of ribbon. And I cut the tails evenly, and I'm searing the edges as I go along. And now what I'm doing, which is what makes this bow like, okay, I'm adding another bow to it, just with another bow, right? That doesn't make sense. So what I'm doing is I'm tying a knot, simple knot in the middle of the first bow. I have enough tail to make a loop and then another loop, or I'm actually wrapping around and pulling through. But there, you see I make another bow on top of the other bow. And there's just some finessing happening, making sure those petals are even, which is super cool. Cutting myself free. And there we go. You think we're done? Nope. We're going to, again, leave enough room for a tail and make a simple knot as if we're tying both of those bows together. Pull on through. I think the hardest part about doing this one is making sure that every time you tie a simple knot that it's on top of the other knots. But it really wasn't that difficult. So let's keep going. There we go. I make a loop. I pull it around. Pull that sucker through. And there we go. We have another bow. That's 3 bows in total. Now I'm just having my finesse party, making sure everything's even, getting a lighter and searing off edges when necessary. And now I'm going to show you how to put this on a gift bag. I have the bag that I made already, hole punched at the top. I only had a little bit left, so I'm just finishing off the spool and I'm feeding it through that hole, just jamming it in there and pulling that on through to the front. And it looks really super cute, right? So to secure it, we're going to tie a simple knot in the back, just one. Just be gentle so you don't rip anything. Cut that excess on an angle. And now we have it put together. But as I'm looking at it, something just doesn't seem complete to me, so I'm deciding to trim the tails. I wanted to make sure I had enough room to make loops, and I thought it would look super fly like that, but I just wasn't feeling it, and that's okay. That's totally okay, and I'm making the decision to trim it down and have the bow look super fly just like this. Yes. Okay, now this is where you're about to get a lot of information. We are going to make a 4-petal bow. So in the beginning, you see me creating a tail and I'm making a loop. That loop indicates how big I want the petals on my bow. So as I bring the ribbon around the gift, I'm still holding on to this because I repeat, Houston, I do not want to be in a problem where I don't have enough tail to make a loop. Okay, so here I let it go and I am making a simple knot to attach the ribbon to the gift. See? Cool, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that tail and make that loop. See? That's why I did that. I'm not joking. Okay? So now the first step to a 4-petal bow is actually just making a bow like we did with the blue ribbon in the beginning. I'm playing with this because I want to get these petals to lay as flat as possible against each other because it can become a lot to manage, but it's not that hard because I did it. So there we go. I'm going around, maintaining my loop size, shoving my fingers through that hole, and pulling out the other half of the bow. There we go. And then you see me pulling and loosening and tightening. And it still looks really good. I mean, honestly, you could stop there if you want, but I'm not going to. So now I make the petals kiss like they're in love, right? And we still have all this tail happening. Well, what am I going to do with it? We are going to create the third loop of the 4-petal bow. So I'm playing around with it because I want this to be as even as possible. So I have to play with it later. But all you do is you make like a phantom loop. See? That's it. And it just has to be equal to the other ones. Right? That seems simple. Okay? So remember that we just did that. So there's 3 of them. But I'm going to release it to show you. See? Okay, I made it again. I didn't know I did that, but that's what I did. I'm just showing you how simple this step is and it's easy to forget. So you make the phantom loop, and then once you do that, you're going to create a twist. But we have to show you a little secret here before we actually do all that. So I'm digging through this bow, and near the bottom, you'll find where you slipped everything through. I'm using the tip of my skizzers, to show it to you, 1, and 2, open it up a little bit. Just a little bit. It's no big deal. Okay, so we have our 2 petals. Okay, really holding on to them like they're change. I don't know why. And then I create my 3rd phantom loop. Okay, and then I give it a twist. And this twist helps keep the ribbon in place, honestly. So I'm twisting it. And then I remember and I recall that I had showed you that little hole area. So I'm gonna take my scissors again, okay? And I'm not really having a good time, but I'm okay. I'm okay. So I'm just pushing it there. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm pushing it through. Pushing that ribbon through while I'm holding the 3 petals. And then I use my fingers. See, I guess I could have pushed it more, but at this point I'm using my fingers to finesse that loop through. And this loop, you're giving birth to loop 4. Congratulations, it's a loop. Okay, so I'm pulling it, and there we go. What do we have here? Okay, I went a little overboard there. But I just want to make sure I got it through. So now you can see we have 4. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty to watch it again. 4 petals, do this bow. And now I'm just playing with it, making it look amazing. Okay. It looks really good. I love it. And I'm going to take my scissors here. And I see the tails, so I want to make them as even as possible, cutting on an angle. Okay. Wow. Every time I make this bow, I'm excited about it. And then light it on up. There we go. Pretty.
Done and done. I hope this video made wrapping presents with bows a bit easier. If not, just go back and watch it, and if it really didn't work, go watch a different video or go buy those crinkly weird bows at the dollar store. Either way, I wish you well.